You got out of a chair 6 or 7 times today. You didn't think about a single one of them. Each one took about 3 seconds of your life. It wasn't pain that changed in you, it wasn't fatigue, and it wasn't a fall in the bathroom. The first sign that your legs are losing strength comes through none of those doors. It hides inside a movement so ordinary you'd swear you still do it the same way. And it shows up years before anything starts to hurt. It already showed up in you, and it never said a word. Today you'll learn the 5 earliest warning signs, and you start testing today right where you're sitting. We come in at number 5 and work our way down to number 1. Now, the first sign on this list I saved for the end, and there's a reason. It's the earliest one of all. It shows up years before anything hurts. It's something you already did today, probably 6 or 7 times. It takes about 3 seconds, and you never think about it while you do it. And I'll show you how to test it sitting right where you are before this video ends. So stay with me, because number 1 is the one that matters most. For decades, you were handed one sentence about this. Your legs got slower because you're 70, and nothing can be done. But exercise research and the clinical literature on aging show the exact opposite. Your body doesn't lose the leg because of the calendar. It loses it from a lack of hard demand. Inside your muscle, there are slow fibers and fast fibers. They work different shifts. The slow fibers walk you out to the mailbox and bring you back. The fast fibers only clock in when you stand up quickly, climb a step, or hold one foot for a second. When was the last time you did any of those 3 on purpose? That's the part that ages first in you, not the whole leg. What you lost is exactly the part of the leg you stopped calling on. What steals your strength isn't age, it's quiet. Accommodation. Quiet accommodation is the set of small adjustments you make without noticing. You pick the tallest chair in the room and push off both armrests. You park closer to the grocery store door. You sit on the bed to pull your socks on. Every one of those adjustments looks like plain good sense. Together, they hide the loss of strength from you for years on end. They work so well that the bill only arrives on the day you fall. There's a whole market selling you more comfort because comfort sells easily. And a 15-minute appointment leaves no time to talk about leg strength. That isn't your doctor failing you. That's not enough minutes on the clock. Now let me be very clear about one thing, because I don't want you hearing this wrong. Grab bars, handrails, canes, walkers, and non-slip mats are not the problem here. Those are what keep you out of the emergency room while you rebuild the leg. Installing the support and rebuilding the muscle aren't 2 choices. They're 2 halves of one plan. Use the handrail and train so the handrail becomes a backup, not a requirement. The same rule goes for your medication, your physical therapy, and your doctor visits. None of that is the mistake. The mistake is letting your leg off the hook. Now do one thing with me, without getting up. Press both feet hard into the floor and count to 3. Did you feel your thigh wake up? It was available the whole time. 5 signs, and you get every one of them counting down, 5 to 1. Each sign comes with the mechanism behind it, the most common mistake, and your check for today. 2 of them have a published test protocol. You do both right there, with no equipment at all. What you're about to hear isn't opinion, and it isn't guesswork. It comes from the clinical literature on aging and muscle function. It's published research, reviewed by other researchers. Not one number here was invented to scare you. Before we start, where are you watching from and how old are you? Write it in the comments now because I read every comment you leave. Sign number 5. The sole of your shoe tells the truth before you do. Walking has always been the most praised exercise in the world, and walking really is good. But after 60, walking stops telling the whole story about your legs. Here's why. There's a thin muscle on the front of your shin, and it lifts the front of your foot. When that muscle weakens, your toes rise a fraction of an inch less, a fraction of an inch, and that's all it takes. Then your sole starts to scuff the floor at the end of every step. Your toe catches the living room rug and the baseboard in the hallway. You trip on the kitchen threshold, on flat ground, with nothing in the way. You know that quick jolt in the middle of the hallway? You look back for whatever caused it, and there's nothing there. Let me tell you about Frank from Tennessee. He's 76 years old. He tripped on his own kitchen threshold 3/4 of an inch high. It's the same threshold he has crossed for 31 years. Frank started using a cane after that, and the cane was a good call. Frank's mistake was something else. He thought the cane replaced training the leg. A cane holds you up in a bad moment. It doesn't give your shin its strength back. Now an important caveat, because it changes what you do. If this came on suddenly, or it's clearly only on one side, this isn't an exercise matter. That calls for a doctor's visit, and the sooner the better. What I'm describing here is the slow kind, on both sides, over years. Now here's your execution, and you do it sitting right there. Keep your heels on the floor and your toes free in front of you. Lift both toes toward your shin and hold them up for 2 seconds. Lower them slowly and repeat 10 times in a row. Breathe out as you lift and do 3 rounds spread across your day. And there's a check for today. Pause this video, grab the shoe you wear most, and turn the sole up. It doesn't matter whether you're in Florida, Texas, or Oregon. That worn spot reads the same in every state. If the wear is at the toe, your foot isn't passing clean over the floor. This isn't a standardized test, it's your own personal baseline. Look today, write it on a piece of paper, and look again in 3 weeks. The most common mistake is blaming the rug and stopping there. But the rug was never the reason. The reason was your shin. And remember, number 1 is still coming. Your foot stopped lifting clean, and that's only half the story. The other half is the foot that stopped pushing the ground back. And that's exactly where sign number 4 lives. Sign number 4, your calf stopped pushing. Everyone learned to watch the thigh because a strong thigh means a strong leg. But after 60, the first one to hand over the loss is your calf. Here's why. Your calf is the engine that drives your walk, not some small detail of the leg. And it loses power earlier and faster than most of your other muscles. You feel it first in very small things around your house. Reaching the good serving dish on the top shelf got unsteady. You go up on your toes and your body sways to the side. Late afternoon comes and your legs feel like they have no push left. And that isn't laziness on your part. Now a safety frame, and this one matters a great deal for you. If your calf hurts when you walk and the pain stops when you stop, that's something else. That calls for a doctor's visit, not an exercise. What I'm talking about with you here is weakness with no pain at all. Before your first standing test, one safety rule with no exceptions. Have something solid within arm's reach, like a counter or a door frame. If you've fallen in the last 12 months, don't do anything standing alone at home. Wait until someone is there with you. And if you use a cane, keep it in your hand. Now the execution, standing at your kitchen counter with both hands on it. Rise onto your toes and lower slowly, counting 3 seconds on the way down. Do 10 reps and breathe out as you rise. Did your heels hold for all 10? If they start dropping early, your engine is telling you something. The most common mistake is rising fast and letting the heel crash to the floor. Instead, rise under control and come down slower than you went up. And if you can't let go of the counter, keep both hands right there. You build strength the same way, and that support is still your friend. Your calf pushes you up in every step you take, But the muscle that holds your weight on the way down is a different one, and that's exactly where sign number 3 hides. Before we go on, if this video is helping you, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you're still here and this is making sense, comment number 1 below. That way, I know you're with me. Now let's go to point number 3. Sign number 3. Going down got worse than going up. All your life you were told that climbing stairs is the real test of a leg. But after 60, the one that gives away your loss of strength is the way down. Here's why, and the reason surprises people. Going up, your muscle shortens and pushes your body onto the step. Going down, that same muscle works as a brake, lengthening slowly under your weight. It's like the brakes on a car coming down a long grade. The engine isn't doing any work there. The brakes do all of it alone. That braking job asks more of your thigh than climbing ever does. And it's the first ability that slips away in you. You'll recognize this inside your own house. You take the stairs slower, and your hand finds the handrail on its own. You come down sideways when nobody is watching you, and you started leading with the same foot every time. Let me tell you about Harold from Kentucky. He's 74 years old. He only found out because his grandson imitated him, playing on the stairs. The boy came down leading with the same foot every step, just like his grandfather. Harold had one leg braking for both for over a year. Now you're one line check. Next time you go down your stairs, notice which foot leads. If it's the same foot on every step, one leg is braking for both. And the execution you do in a chair with no stairs involved at all. Stand in front of your chair with your hands ready on the armrests. Sit down slowly, counting 3 seconds until your body touches the seat. Don't drop into the seat on any rep, because that's where the training is. Do 5 reps and breathe out as you lower. You just trained your thigh in the exact job it loses first. The most common mistake is avoiding stairs forever and calling that prudent. Instead, use the handrail, go down slowly, and keep going down. And remember, number 1 is still coming. Going down still lets you trade the weight between both legs. The next sign asks you for one leg only, with no trading. And that's exactly where sign number 2 shows up. Sign number 2. You don't get dressed standing up anymore. Comfort is a good word, and you've earned plenty of comfort at this point in life. But after 60, comfort sometimes hides a trade you never chose. Here's why. Standing on one leg looks like a job for one muscle, and it's nothing of the kind. It's a marker for your whole system, not the grade of one isolated muscle. You know the scene. You sit on the edge of the bed to pull your socks on. You put a hand on the wall to get your pants on. It looks like comfort, and it is comfortable, but an ability of yours got replaced by a piece of furniture. Let me tell you about Marilyn from Iowa. She's 66 years old. She started sitting on the edge of the bed to put her socks on every day. She told her daughter it was more comfortable that way, and comfortable was true. It was also the only way she had left. Here's the research I promised you. In 2022, the British Journal of Sports Medicine published a study of 1,702 adults. They were all between 51 and 75, followed for about 7 years. Among those who couldn't hold 10 seconds on one foot, 17.5% died in that period. Among those who held the 10 seconds, that number was 4.6%. Now listen closely to the framing. This test doesn't cause anything, and it decides nothing about you. It's a window. Balance uses your inner ear, your eyes, your nerves, and your muscles together. So when it slips, it's telling you about the whole set, not about one muscle. And a window exists, so you can look through it in time. Now your full test, and the safety rule still stands here. Support within arm's reach, and nobody does this alone after a recent fall. Standing, place the top of one foot against the calf of the other leg. Let your arms hang at your sides and fix your eyes on one point ahead. Hold 10 seconds and count out loud if that helps you. Did you hold the 10 seconds without touching the support? That's very good. You didn't hold it, or you had to grab the counter. That's information, and it isn't a sentence. And if you use a cane or a walker, do this test sitting in your chair. Shift all your weight onto one side of your hip and watch whether your trunk tips. The most common mistake is gripping the sink hard and calling that a test. Instead, keep just your fingertips near the support without squeezing. And remember, number 1 is still coming. You just tested your leg standing still over one spot. Sign number 1 tests your leg producing force fast, which is another thing entirely. And that difference changes everything for you. If you're still here and this is making sense, comment number 1 below. That way, I know you're with me. Now let's go to point number 1. Sign number 1. Getting out of a chair without using your hands. Standing up from a chair is the most ordinary movement of your whole day. But after 60, those 3 seconds become the best leg exam there is. Here's why. Getting out of a chair asks your leg for a lot of force in very little time. That's the job of the fast fibers, the ones we talked about at the start. And those are exactly the fibers that shrink first when you stop asking for them. After 50, your muscle mass drops somewhere around 1 to 2% a year. But your strength drops faster than your mass, and it drops in the hurry fibers. That's why the mirror fools you. You rock your trunk forward before you stand to get some momentum. You put a hand on the armrest without even noticing you did. You pick the tallest chair in the room when company comes over, and you swear to everyone that you stand up normally. This isn't you failing here. This is your body changing and compensating on its own. Let me tell you about Ray from Ohio. He's 73 years old. He has a 2004 pickup that he loves. Ray didn't notice he had stopped getting out of that truck with his legs. He grabs the door frame and pulls himself out with his arm. He did that for 2 years and called it his way of getting down from the truck. It had a name, it had a routine, and it looked normal. It was pure compensation. Now your full test, and this one has a published protocol with a name. It's the 30-second sit to stand test from Rikli and Jones. Sit on the edge of a firm chair with no armrests, feet flat on the floor. Cross your arms over your chest. Stand all the way up and sit all the way down, over and over for 30 seconds. No hands. How many did you get? Hold on to that number because here comes the reading of it. Fewer than 8 reps is the line research links to lower functional capacity. That's the warning line, and it isn't the average for your age. The averages by age group run quite a bit higher than that. Men from 70 to 74 land around 14 reps. So 8 isn't where you should be. 8 is where you ask for attention this week. If you did well above 8, that number is your personal starting point. Write it down today and run it again in 3 weeks. Going up 2 or 3 reps is real change, and if you use a cane or you can't stand without your hands, do this instead. Count how many times you can stand using your hands in 30 seconds and write it down. That's your starting point, and it counts just the same. Ray ran this test again. Ray counted 6. And here's the part that puts the power back in your hands. In 1990, the Journal of the American Medical Association published a paper on nursing home residents. It was a small study. 10 people started, all of them over 85, and the average age was 90. 9 finished the 8 weeks of strength training, and those 9 got dramatically stronger at an average age of 90. Your muscle fiber doesn't die of age. It goes quiet from lack of demand, and it answers a stimulus in any decade of your life, the 9th included. The most common mistake is running this test in the soft recliner in the living room. Instead, use a firm dining chair with its back against the wall. Write your number on a piece of paper today because you're going to need it. And before you put that paper away, I want to run the 5 signs back with you. Sign number 5. The sole of your shoe wears at the toe because your foot isn't passing clean over the floor. Sign number 4. Your calf lost its push and going up on your toes got unsteady in the kitchen. Sign number 3. Going down got harder than going up, and you lead every step with the same foot. Sign number 2. You don't get dressed standing up, and you traded your balance for the edge of the bed. Sign number 1. You get out of the chair using your hands, and you swear you stand up normally. 5 signs, and all 5 of them answer to a stimulus. This video is for educational purposes and doesn't replace medical advice. Every health situation is unique, especially if you take medication daily. Talk with your doctor before changing your diet, your exercise, or your treatment. This is about you getting out of that folding chair at your grandson's game on your own. It's about the game ending, everybody standing up off the bleachers and you standing up with them, without 2 people pulling you up by the arms in front of everyone there. It's about you deciding when to ask for help instead of your leg deciding for you. Your kids will help you every time, but you don't want to become their Tuesday errand. You want to live on your own terms, and that gets trained. Now, if any of those 5 signs sounded like you, don't just sit with it. So like this video and subscribe, because I have a video coming very soon on 5 chair exercises. They're the exercises that rebuild leg strength faster than walking does. Done sitting, with no equipment, in the room you're in right now. Stay strong, stay steady, stay independent. Because aging isn't something you endure. It's something you steer. Which of the 5 signs spoke to you most today? Write the number in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.